Jimmy! Ricky! You! Smack Attack!
Yeah, nigga, what's up with all that motherfucking shit you was talking, nigga? Nigga, what's up with all that shit you was talking, nigga? You on the fucking lot, nigga, that was shooting, y'all. That was shooting, nigga. Hey, check this out, motherfucker. What's wrong, nigga? You can't talk with a gun in your mouth. You can't talk with a gun in your mouth. Listen up, nigga. You know, listen for you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Smack Attack. I am your host, Jimmy T. He is my co-host, R to the B to the V, and we are live on Humming Media Group's YouTube channel, and of course on, well, actually not on channelattitude.com after the fact. We'll be on Patreon. Actually, we'll talk about that towards the end of the show. But Rick, it's a new era in WWE, it seems. I can't believe they pulled the trigger. Drew McIntyre, your new WWE World Champion.
Right, Jimmy, around the globe, social media is buzzing. Those people that still have a water cooler, that's where they're going to be and what they're going to be talking about the next time they're in the office. And yeah, Jimmy, Friday night, big fight feel, big time energy. A long time in the making, decades in the making. Two different roads traveled, no pun intended, occasionally intertwining, occasionally meeting, but going their own directions towards a same destination. Jimmy, yeah, again, this was Friday night, big fight energy. And there's no other way that we can open up this week's show than jumping right into it. Now, I am a pretty good wordsmith, pretty articulate, but even I, as masterful as I can be, I cannot verbally do justice to paint the picture, to describe the emotion, the energy surrounding this big showdown. So I tell you what, Jimmy, no words, just roll that footage.
Then we get to it in a moment.
Oh, no way. He's squaring up with it. Oh, fuck yeah, Wollongong.
Yes, Jimmy, the fight that everybody is buzzing about, you versus the kangaroo. That's what it is about. Hey, I wanted to get it right from the man himself, but I gotta tell you right here, I got a couple of questions because immediately when this hit social media, the buzz started. I made the phone call, put the bat signal out there to the one, the only William Frito Scoops Alicia. Yeah, our in-house detective, our sleuth at the Hameen Media Group. And he's been digging here, brother. He has been digging. Now, we don't know who sent us this. Not obviously sent in. But, you know, looking at that film there, brother, it does suspiciously sounds like one Pierce Austin might have been filming that thing, catching you in the act with your oldest rival. Again, you guys have been going back decades here, and it finally comes to a head. Jimmy T and the kangaroo. Now, Alicia, man, he has been deep diving into this thing. Speculative here. I want to get from you, from the horse's mouth, not the kangaroo's mouth, from the horse's mouth here, Jimmy T. Speculation. Rumors circulating that this finally came to a head, this showdown. One, two, maybe both reasons. One, this kangaroo has been stealing your Foster's Australian phobia. That's one of the speculations here. And also, while you're podcasting, while you got your headset on, you can't hear what's going on in the house, that this kangaroo might have been hopping through your window and being a veggie mate with your lady friend there, taking care of a little business at the house. Jimmy T, are either of those true? Is that what caused this epic showdown there in the streets of Australia?
Well, first of all, it's a jungle out here, like I've said previously, when it comes to the main streets of Melbourne, Australia. Kangaroos don't fuck around here, dude. I'm telling you now, that motherfucker jumped me from behind, and then I had to square up with him. And yeah, Pierce was actually taking, if you could hear him, he was like, crikey, whatever he was saying there. He was taking the video.
I thought that sounded like him.
Of me actually fighting this damn kangaroo. And look, I just want to see this one more time. If you see, I got the kangaroo nice.
Oh, no way. He's squaring up with it. Oh, fuck yeah, Willie goes.
He went on the side there.
What is that combo that you got there? Like a jawbreaker into a pile driver. The salami tsunami combo finish there.
It was a modified sort of Storm Zero, except I call it the tsunami bomb. All right, or something like that. But I'll tell you now, man, I was lucky that I got over that kangaroo, bro, because I'll tell you now, if it was any other kangaroo, I probably would have been absolutely gotten my ass kicked, bro.
Wait a minute. Hold on here. Breaking news. Another breakthrough here. I just got a DM. Just sent this to me over on Facebook. William Frito Scoops Alicia, our in-house sleuth here at the HMG. He is confirming this, Jimmy, is confirming that kangaroo, that very kangaroo that we've seen in the video that you are claiming jumps you from behind, is actually one of the 4 kangaroos from going back a few years ago. 3:27 a.m. in the dark. You are pedaling your bike to the Quickie Mart, and you are surrounded by 4 dangerous kangaroo beings. This is one of those kangaroos, according to William Alicia.
You know what impresses me, actually, Rick? The fact that I don't know if it's you or William Alicia that remembers exactly the time and sort of place where that happened. It was actually 3, though. You said 4, but it was actually 3 of them. They surrounded me. I got the fuck out of there. I didn't want to go bump in the night with a whole bunch of skippies. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't understand what I mean by that, we call kangaroos here skippy because there used to be a freaking TV show that was before my time called Skippy, the bush kangaroo. If anyone doesn't know it, go check it out. You'll laugh because it's a damn kangaroo. That's the star of the show.
I'm going to tell you this. Hey, everybody buzzing social media raging about this one. And this is a perfect example. Skip around and find out. Jimmy T throwing down there. The salami tsunami taking care of business down under. But yeah, Jimmy, SmackDown last night, they're on their European vacation. And that means big things for these big crowds. They like to put on those big shows. You mentioned it there. And or should we say, and Drew champion. Drew McIntyre has done it week after week, month after month. He's been crying conspiracy that this is being withheld from him, that everybody is out for him. Well, Jimmy, we'll hold off a little bit to break down the match itself, but in the 3 stages of hell, Drew is able to escape, and he clings on to that championship as they go off the air. We got some surprises there at the end of the match. But to start things off here, Jimmy, to talk about the show itself, again, they're in Germany. Shout out, love the early start times. 2 p.m. airtime, you got this internationally. We still had to wait here domestically because of the USA deal. But coming up, Monday, we're going to get that again. They're in London. We're going to get a 2 o'clock start time. That's going to be available for everybody on Netflix.
On Monday, they're not in London, actually. They're still in Germany, as a matter of fact. And then on
they're still over
SmackDown.
there.
Yeah, and then on Smack, I think it was I'm gonna botch it. I'm not even gonna say it, but it starts with D or Dadaroff or something like that. Dusseldorf, Germany. That's where they're at. Like I said, sorry, Alexa, who's our resident German listener, as a matter of fact, coming from Germany, that I botched it. But anyway, you guys get the drift. That's where Raw is this coming Monday, and then London. for
They're
this
over
for
there
SmackDown.
somewhere, over there where we went over there, took care of business. The Americans, that's what we usually do over there. But the European vacation, love the early start time. Love the early start time. Able to, pick it up. Hey, I really wish that USA, because all they're running on a Friday afternoon is like SUV or, crime scene, whatever, Law and Order reruns. Why not?
Yeah.
Just jump in there at 2 p.m. Say, hey, we're going to run it again at its usual time at 8 p.m. But Jimmy here, conversation I want to start off with immediately, and I accidentally stumbled into this thing because I was going to try to avoid it, but maybe it helps. How do you feel about the spoilers getting out early on these shows when they're overseas like that? Do you think it's something? A lot of times people think, oh, it ruins the must-watch live energy. They've already killed that themselves. Is this kind of one of those situations where, like a Mick Foley, when WCW gave away the results and people said, you know what, that's something I want to go see, to actually see. I know what happens, but how does it happen? Is this kind of helpful to get the spoilers out there? Maybe get some interest going for people to tune in to see actually how this plays out.
Now, me personally, I don't like spoilers, but I will say this. It's funny that you mentioned that, because if you remember back in 2006 when Kurt Angle jumped over to SmackDown and his first ever match was a World Heavyweight Championship match, and I remember this clearly. And anyway, they announced it before, because if you remember, SmackDown was taped back then in 2006. They announced that Angle won the World Heavyweight Championship before it actually aired. And in this case, I would have been all right with it, because it was one of those big deals where, yeah, why not announce it? Because I think it will get a lot of people tuning in. But you can also make the argument for the opposite also, where you don't want to know. But in this case, I think a lot of people probably weren't expecting a total change on SmackDown nevertheless. You know what I mean? So I would have actually gone out and said it. Why not? Because a lot of people would have missed out on the live feed, obviously. And for me, it was on at 6 a.m. live. So, if 2 p.m. for you must be great, because that's around the times that we get it live week in, week out from the US. Except we get it at 12 live, which is great, like a great time. So I assume you like those, afternoon sort of times.
Yeah, personally, I love the afternoon starts. You don't have to stay up so late. Get older, man. I like to be tucked into bed, ready out, lights out by 9:30, 10 o'clock nowadays. But that's me. But speaking to the spoilers, and you mentioned that earlier one with Kurt Angle in 2006. Another one that I remember when they actually were in London. Remember when AJ Styles took the belt off of Jinder Mahal? And it actually was WWE that came out themselves, went right to their website, to their social media at the time, and said, look what happened. Now tune in. Now what happened. See how it happened. Right. Now there is, that you do present that argument, for the other side of, man, well, if you tell me, then it takes away kind of the surprise factor. The bigger issue here, and I guess it's all about circumstance, situation, because right now WWE, they're not creating an environment that is must-see television. I don't think there was a lot of people, like, oh, I just got to tune in to watch this. A lot of people were going in with foregone conclusion that we're just going to get some kind of schmozz finish. Maybe like a lot of people are leaning towards Obafemi coming in. That would screw Drew out of this. Cody rolls on with the championship. People got to roll their eyes. They're like, I'll just catch it on social media. I think this was a case. You see the teasers of Drew with the belt. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, is that AI? So you're getting that interest, and then tune in to see how it plays out. We know there's a big return. We know there's interference, but okay, so how does Drew wiggle around this thing and escape with that championship? I think this is one of those times where it happening overseas, leaking domestically, was a huge benefactor for them. But you mentioned a good point there, where us in the States, we kind of take that for granted because everything kind of runs around our time. Right. You growing up, all of your wrestling was on spoilers. You could, you could have that ruined for you all the time.
Absolutely. If you didn't catch it then and there, you're screwed pretty much. You know what I mean? So if you don't catch it live, it's exactly what would happen. And I'll get spoiled plenty of times. Even me, I try to stay away from social media so I don't see what happens. And unfortunately, just had a glimpse of social media. Bang, I saw the freaking result of the main event. And it was like, oh, God damn it. You know what I mean? So I knew what happened before I watched it. But I told you, man, you literally got to stay away from friggin' social media or else you're going to find out what happened. And like I said, all it took was just that one time to go on Facebook and it was all over my feed, man.
That's what it was. Actually, I wasn't even thinking about the spoiler or the results, and I just opened up my Facebook and boom, there it is, like in a couple posts from a couple groups. And
literally.
But yeah, it really did ruin it for me. It did keep my attention a little bit more, trying to get through that 3 hours to say, okay, how is this thing? How did it play out? Which to me, it's okay. It's like when you go to a movie, Batman and Superman are going to win in the end, but how do we get there?
Right. And you know what? Like, it's still all right. Look, it took away a little bit of it, which sucks. But at the same time, I was still intrigued to see it anyway. But I just wish I never caught it. But that's life. It happens. You know what I mean? It happens to all of us.
Well, speaking of the rumor mill and people out there talking about this, a lot of positive buzz. People are really glad to see Drew finally get that big one. I know you've been talking about it here on the show for weeks, maybe losing a little interest or just worried about, is there a breaking point for Drew? Some rumors out there, some conversation that Cody and Drew themselves had been pushing for this title switch, even going all the way back to WrestlePalooza. But creative said, now let's push, let's wait for a bigger moment here. Obviously, we know when that bigger moment was. They go ahead and pull the trigger over in Europe, a big win for Drew in his, I know not Germany, his homeland, but in that region, that area of the world, a big win. Was saying, keeping those overseas fans happy, a big moment for them, which kind of is one of those other kind of drawbacks over there. Sometimes like, we love going to these shows. We're so enthusiastic. We bring a lot of energy, but we know we're not going to get those type of big moments, or, they're few and far between, and they get a big one here.
Yeah. Can I ask actually, Rick, did you feel for a European crowd? Because usually the European crowds are hot. You know what I mean? I felt like, don't get me wrong, Germany has been hot in the past, but I felt like this particular show, they were a bit, I don't want to say lackluster, but they could have been a lot louder than usual. I felt like they weren't as loud as they could have been. They were up for the main event, don't get me wrong. And I'm up for Drew McIntyre, but there was a lot of times where I felt like the fans just didn't really care as much.
Well, I mean, when you get these European fans, and I watched this, it was pretty interesting how I watched this in a comparison. And I had, I love YouTube TV for this. NFL ticket, Sunday football, I can get 4 games up there, all split screen, put the sound on whichever one you want, or rotate them around when something seems interesting. So I had my dual screen last night. I had SmackDown on one half, and I had the college football playoff semifinal, Indiana, Oregon on the other. And I'm kind of going back and forth with the sound and the energy. And I even had that in my notes, the comparison. When we go to Europe, you're going to get the sing-alongs. And Absolutely. I've never really let those kind of bother me until I saw it side-by-side comparison with the college football playoff. And immediately became absurd to me. Oh, no. I mean, big energy over there for a semifinal. Big energy. 2 big programs with great fan bases there. Indiana, the losingest team history-wise in Division I, and now getting there to this spot. They get the win last night, going on to play for a national championship here in a couple of weeks. But even like the sing-along stuff, and it gets praise around the globe for it, but here in the States, it gets a lot of ridicule. And I seen why. And it made sense last night. They come out, Randy Orton, you get that big pop to open the thing. You're going to get the sing along. Can you imagine that anywhere else? Like they would just stop the game to let the crowd just do their thing. Like in football, like they would just stop the game for 5 minutes. No, nowhere else. And it draws away from the television experience. Now, I get it, man. You hooligans, you love it. It works in soccer, but soccer has built-in dead time. They spend so much time at midfield doing nothing.
Come on.
Am I lying?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Dead time in soccer. football. There's so much dead time that
Yeah,
they can
it's
entertain
football. It's
themselves.
football.
It doesn't work at other places. So at WWE, they'll just stop at a match and sit there and just stare at each other and pander to it. What's going on? Looking at these things side by side as well, and we've been talking about, going on a year doing Smack Attack here together. And I think it's something that's regularly come up, and it's about the format, the production style. They've got to drastically change this for wrestling. It is so played out. The wrestling format for television presentation, I don't think it has changed since the Attitude Era. They follow the exact same damn format.
As a matter of fact,
same
Rick,
style
it's
cut to the back with the
no.
crap interviews, the same thing being said over and over, the same setup for the backstage segments. They have got to find some ways to mix this thing up. Yeah, I don't know if it's incorporating going back to Control Center. I mean, it doesn't look anything, and we regularly hear a more sports-like presentation. And I'm regularly asked, okay, what do we mean by that? Because I mean, it's sports entertainment, it's pro wrestling, it's not real sports. But when we get the presentation, there is a lot to left to be desired that they need to close the gap on that. And they're going, when you guys did the Wrestle Kingdom review, man,
Yeah.
Jargo said something that was very profound that stuck to me during
the presentation.
About the presentation and comparing sports entertainment Western style with Japan. And one thing I think that maybe they do get right that is so much better. And here, when you come to WWE, you have to go through NXT to learn that style. You have to learn how to work the cameras. And Jarko reminded us in Japan, the cameras work the talent.
Exactly.
And that's
that's a great point.
And that's the way that they do it in sports. And I think it was Vet that was joking about, like, yeah, could you imagine a guy like not stretching out to get a ball because it wasn't on the hard cam?
Right. Well, he's right, though. Is he not?
Oh, yeah. And I didn't get to listen to a lot of the actual Wrestle Kingdom conversation you guys were having because I had no idea what you were talking about there. I didn't watch it. They got so many different. But talking, about that business, the presentation of it, I thought it was a great conversation that you guys had and a lot that jumped out there. And especially that, one of the biggest things there, the difference. And if in the Western, if we want to adapt more of that and create more of an exciting television product, we've got to get away from those old tropes. Again, wrestling presentation has not changed since the Attitude Era. 30-something years, right?
Yeah, spot on, man. As a matter of fact, that's what they base their production pretty much off. Yeah, people are going to say, oh, yeah, but it looks all shiny. Yeah, it's a shinier version of what the Attitude Era looked like, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yep, it's just the Attitude
format.
Russo came up with kind of a bit of a new format, and and they sampled it too. It was they were doing some different. They were doing different things in Nitro. I just don't want to say it was just him there. Nitro introduced a lot of cool aspects that we saw.
I thought WCW was more sports orientated, if you know what I mean, by the way they used to do their production compared to WWE.
Yeah, in many, many ways, they brought in, a lot more of the flash, the flare. It felt more back then like a big sporting event. Nitro
Absolutely, for sure. I agree.
But
100%.
Since then, through the Attitude Era, through the PG era, whatever these different little phases have been called, the constant, as it wasn't John Cena for the last 23 years, 30 years, it was the formatting, and it needs changed. And there's a lot that they can do to freshen this thing up. So I think, that kind of hurts with those live audiences there. And as you said, this was the main event. There's not a lot of interest going on this undercard and these other divisions outside of the heavyweight.
It just felt like that. Now we could be wrong. Maybe the way, because if you noticed, I felt like the way SmackDown even started with their production, speaking of production, you notice that they had a few things go bad, sort of to the point where, did you see when Orton came out, the camera was all shaky and felt like he was tripping over himself, the cameraman and whatnot. There seemed to be a few off spots with production in Germany for whatever reason, but also with Orton, like, I don't know, man. It felt like he wasn't even interested in some ways even being there for whatever reason. But then again, he just came out, done his shtick, and pretty much took off again.
Yeah, so he's come out, get that pop, do your thing there. We'll run through the show here. We'll do that. Let's go ahead. Let's switch some gears here. Got I do want to do a big shout out. Blue Brand News headline wise, big shout out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You might be my MVP of 2026 already for the entire year. Shout out to women's champion Jade Cargill. Taking care
I'm glad
of
you brought that up.
taking care of business, baby.
Bro,
Not
can I
just,
say something?
not just one, but two. Munchies and B-Fop are on the sideline. They are on the injury list thanks to champion Jade Cargill. Thank you so much. Now, hey, I'm sure that B-Flop's a very nice lady, very nice individual. And Munchie, she can do whatever she wants there. But hey, I'm glad that neither of them had to have a limb amputated. But please, ladies, take a long time in rehab and recovery. Go ahead, Jimmy. What'd you think?
You know, I'm glad you brought up Jay Cargill because, you know, it's funny. When you see Jordan Grace and Cargill, I almost started laughing right away because I thought of a meme. This can be a meme. Now think of Jay Cargill as representing AEW, okay? All right. And Jordan Grace being TNA. And you know how TNA is obviously like thinking they can be the number 2 show over friggin' AEW. Let's be real, they're not, and they won't be, okay? I could be wrong, but I highly doubt it, right? But the fact of the matter is, so you see Jordan Grace, you see Jay Cargill out. Now, picture what Jay Cargill said to Jordan Grace is exactly what AEW would be saying to TNA. What, you think you're the new shiny thing around here and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, it was a meme to me. You could actually put it into a meme, and if you look at it like that, you will laugh at it. It's actually quite funny. That's how I looked at it for whatever reason, because she is that bitch, and she's there to dominate, and I don't know, I feel like she can expose Jordan Grace big time, dude. Is it just me, or does Jordan Grace look real tiny compared to a lot of these women, man?
But she is put together.
Absolutely.
For great physique there, you know, however, whatever means that she had obtained that by. So I think there is some interest because even though it's hard for anyone to stack up against Jade Cargill. So at least you got somebody with a physique. You know, I heard they're going to do a little homage to way back during the Rumble. Remember when Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude had the ultimate pose off back at the Rumble?
Absolutely. Royal Rumble, 89, I think it was.
One of the early ones before they even gave out title shots. You know, those two had the ultimate pose off. I heard you're going to have to like ESPN, but you're going to have to get like the highest tier to get this thing to actually be able to watch this. But they're going to replicate that. It's going to be Jade Cargill, Jordan Grace, and it's going to be a muscle clit pose off. Who has the biggest muscle clit?
Let's just hope there's no acne involved down there either, RBV.
Hey, Joe, real quick, one more thing on Munchie, man. She's been out there swinging that kendo stick. Absolutely pathetic. Hey, but Tommy and Army, if you want to get the lowdown, the inside, get the scoop with a chick that knows how to swing that stick, taking care of business, and Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Jimmy, throw up my graphic there. Coming up this Monday in the locker room to be the 12th of January, high noon. Ben and I have a very special guest. Yes, the one, the only, Jasmine St. Clair of Juggalo Championship Wrestling, one of the stars of Lunacy, going to be joining Ben and I again this Monday inside the locker room for a great conversation with all the cool things going on with JCW. That's how you swing a stick right there. Take note, Munchies.
Absolutely. That's how you swing a stick. And I'm actually looking forward to that. That's a big get, dude. I am absolutely pumped for that show. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be definitely tuning in. And shout out to Jasmine St. Clair. I mean, I've been a fan of hers for years. And as a matter of fact, she was even married to Blue Meanie and also in ECW back in the day, if you remember. So yeah, she's a legend for sure, man. When it comes to hardcore wrestling, so I'm actually looking forward to it. That's an actual coup, Rick.
Yeah, good get for us. Looking forward to that conversation to get all the the scoop on what's going on there with JCW, all that energy. Again, as you said, Jasmine St. Clair, a great history inside of the business of professional wrestling. She obviously is going to get this, the miles traveled, the bumps taken. So we're going to get some great insight there. Looking forward to that on Monday again, high noon, Monday locker room right here on the Hami Media Group YouTube platform. But Jimmy, we had mentioned European vacation underway for WWE. Again, this week's SmackDown, it came to us from Das Uber Arena in Berlin, Germany. Again, we're building towards, we got this big event, this big tour happening here, but we're on the build towards two big upcoming events. Of course, the Royal Rumble event, a couple weeks away here, early February. We've also, Jimmy, we got another Saturday night's main event right around the corner to set us up there just before the Rumble. Kind of interesting to tie those in with a big announcement on this week's SmackDown. General Manager Nick Aldis, he's looking for a new number one contender to the WWE Undisputed Heavyweight Championship, and he's found out a way to do this, Jimmy. It's going to have next week, as you let us know there. It's going to be from jolly old London. Going to be 4 qualifying matches. The winners of these 4 matches will then go on to a fatal 4-way match at the upcoming Saturday night's main event, with the winner becoming the new number one contender and challenging Drew McIntyre, be his first challenger as champion. Going to get that opportunity. Jimmy, let's look at these matches here real quick. We'll give some thoughts on them. Interesting ones here. We got Randy Orton and The Miz. They've been kind of intertwined here the last couple of weeks. Saw a little interaction with them on the show. Though returning, this one is very interesting to me, the direction that they could go here. They're returning Matt Cardona. He's going to be squaring off. Let's talk about it. Trick Williams. That's an interesting one to me. How about Damian Priest taking on Solo Sikoa? And then the final of the 4 there, Sami Zayn versus the Little Dragon, Mr. Dragunov, the former U.S. champ. Looks like he's going to get elevated here, get an opportunity. Now, a lot of these competitors here, they've even went to ex-champ Cody, said, hey, man, best of luck, man. We respect you as champ, but we're coming for you. The big guns are coming for him. Let's look at these things here, man. Orton versus Miz. What do you like? What do you like? How do you like this build-up, this payoff, this play-out that we got in this one, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, we've seen this match a million times already, to be honest, and I'm not expecting too much.
Hey, we.
Well, not in recent times, but over the years we definitely have. Cool. It's almost, I don't want to say lazy, but I get why they did this. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you look at the brackets, who should be going over and who's not. Should be pretty obvious with the way the brackets are set up, man.
Well, I mean, it's not really brackets. You win one, you're going to this thing. So all 4 are going to a fatal 4 about who's going to be the competitors there. But, I think you got 2 great hands, 2 entertaining talents right here. Going to go out there, keep this one short and sweet. Obviously, I think we both agree Orton's going to get that thing because you want him to be rolling on here. Miz is one of those guys that he gathers more fuel in disaster. So he absolutely doesn't need anything like this. His resume is already tremendous here.
Absolutely.
Damian Priest, Solo Sikoa. Solo, he's great in that role he's at right now. He doesn't need to be pushed to the main event like they were trying there. He's perfect mid-card. He's got his thing going on. We're going to talk about him and his crew in a big match. Damian Priest last week kind of closes a chapter for him when he closed those ambulance doors on Aleister Black. So now it looks like maybe he's a former champ as well. Let's not forget about that. I know that run was a little forgettable, but it was there. Can he get back in that main event scene? That was kind of a coin flip. And then the other, Sammy and Dragunov. We've seen them tango. Dragunov got the last win when he took that championship. It seems like this is going to be, let's go out there, shake hands, a code of honor, respect kind of match. Maybe that's a match where we can actually maybe let the Dragon start breathing a little fire, start showing some frustrations, instead of let's go out and just wrestle, kind of up that intensity a little bit. I'd like to see him maybe full on turn, just go after Sammy and take him down.
I was going to say that. And to be fair to Dragunov, usually he does wrestle pretty intensely. He's probably been told to slow it down a little bit because he's always 100 miles an hour. If you look at his past stuff.
Well, he's going 100 miles per hour. And I know Let's Go Brandon, during the live watch alongs, he gets all over this thing.
Oh, he can't stand it.
He's moving such at a rapid pace that there's no time to get anything else in. The viewer can't digest what's happening. And he doesn't sell enough to let the heels get heat.
Right, that's true. He's even though he's been in the business for quite a while, man, even before WWE, he's been in the business for quite a long time. He still doesn't understand when to like slow things down, like you said. Like he doesn't allow for anyone to get their heat back or anything like that. He just keeps going and going. But why doesn't anyone coach him to slow him down? Doesn't someone even?
Well, because they think this is what's over. They think this is going to work. This is where these guys fit on this card. Is to go out there, try to get as many moves in, hit as much as your move set, rope work, all that, big spots, try to get those big pops. But without that connection, they're not getting that. So I think, that's the match we're going to get here with him and Sammy. It could be a coin flip for whichever one goes over in this one. The solo, the Damian Priest, I see Priest going over in that one. I'd like to see, again, some fire from the Dragon, and maybe he unleashes that and takes a win by hurting Sammy, puts him down pretty good.
I would love to see that, but I think he gave it away when he said to Mello, in the back where, our time's not now to face each other, but we will in the future. I think this is like the vet loves saying, a big, strong win, if you want to call it that, for Sami Zayn, just for people to get behind him, the underdog. Isn't he the underdog of the underground?
Maybe so his son quits asking why he's a loser.
Little Habibi can like start cheering. You know what I mean? Again, he can now look at his dad as not a loser like anymore. He can look at his dad as a winner. I mean, did he not say that? I'm just saying what he said verbatim. Did he not say that?
I think the big one here of interest is Matt Cardona, fresh back. We had a great conversation with Hammer last week about, what is the ceiling? What's the direction there? Hammer, made some good points there, man. That Cardona has the skills to pay the bills, that he could move into a main event spot. You and I were kind of, question that a little bit, because it's not if he can, it's would they let him. I think this is a big finding out spot about how they treat Cardona against Trick Williams. I think we would both agree this needs to be a Trick Williams big win to put him in.
It needs
a big
to
spot.
be. But Rick, does it hurt Cardona a little bit losing to an up and coming sort of star? You know what I mean? You can consider Trick Williams a rookie for the main roster, right? Just say.
I get that, but where does it hurt Cardona? I mean, a huge portion of this audience still remembers Zack Ryder. And I'm sorry. Zack Ryder was a loser.
So what you're saying is,
is that an untrue statement? What was Zack Ryder?
No, you're right. I couldn't stand Zack Ryder. He was a loser.
As the character. He was going to go out there and put 100. Over whoever he was with. Now Cardona, he'd had his little segment there where he talked about it. He had 3 options when he left. He could have faded away. Could have just went to the conventions and just lived off of the name Zack Ryder, or he could go reinvent himself. And he chose option 3. And now he's back to prove that Zack Ryder was a thing of the past. Matt Cardona is the future. Well, this is a big measuring stick for the match in a position of where he's at in the company and creatively. I could see him taking the loss here and then saying, what, maybe getting back here isn't going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be. I gotta refocus. I gotta buckle down here. But yeah, Trick Williams, the couple times, I know he had a few spots where he was out there on SmackDown, but this is really the big introduction. And he has shined like a freaking star so far, written all over him. They can't fumble this. And the problem is, we know that WWE Creative has very slippery fingers, and they can drop the ball at any time.
That's what worries me, and let's hope that does not happen. But so far, so good, as you said. The only thing is, was Germany the right place to debut him like this in a sense?
Well, it was last week. Last week, right. He comes out, gives us the introduction, him and Sammy. He gets that kind of rub there with the established underdog baby, as you had mentioned. Hey, let's talk about what they do here this week, because we to officially open this week's SmackDown. again from Berlin, crowd coming out. We're going to get Randy Orton to open to get the Germans jumping, get that audience jumping. And of course, they're ready to sing along. Randy wants to address the crowd. You're thinking, okay, a little the same old, same old. Hey, this was a fresh bit of energy. This made you perk up and take a little bit of attention when Trick interrupts Randy Orton.
No,
And
definitely.
you get a great response from the German crowd. Whoa, that Trick. They're on board with it. You've got that big pop entrance moment that they love up in the office, that they love selling the spectacle package here. Trick comes out here looking like $1 million. He wants to get in there and introduce himself to Randy Orton. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about it here, Jimmy. What'd you think about the interaction? Trick Williams, the young, hot, fresh superstar in there against the legendary Viper, the veteran.
I liked it. I mean, it was all good. The only thing I didn't like, and this is a rookie mistake on Trick, to be honest, but did you notice the little fumble with the mic at the end of the segment?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice Trick Williams' reaction to that? Orton played it like a vet, totally, right? But he fully reacted to himself knocking the mic off of Orton, where he's like, oh, shit. And the look on his face was like total worried, like, oh, man, I'm going to get friggin' ate because it's Orton. Think about, Orton's history with certain wrestlers where he's gotten people fight in the past. It is what it is.
Oh, yeah, but those came with like physical injury but you're right. It's about those miles. It's about putting in that time and understanding it, how to work on the fly. Those are one of those small things that most probably to see that it just lets you know how good Randy Orton has
Absolutely.
been for the longest time. Now for Trick, that's a big learning experience because that's a lot different than being down to PC, working the NXT style, the classroom, all that. That is one of those things. Hopefully, they had a laugh about when they got to the back, and Randy, as a mentor, was like, "Hey, kid, this is how you do it here. You seen how I reacted. Hey, I know. Speaking as a promoter, anytime something happens with a microphone, you about crap your pants, you want to start yelling at some people because that's expensive equipment.
Yeah, and you know
That
what?
is expensive equipment.
Do you think by going by his reaction, particularly, do you think that actually hit someone in the crowd, possibly?
Nah, who cares? Hey, WrestleMania, they had Steve Austin out there hitting fans drunk on a four-wheel. I think they're all right.
Yeah. How did I forget that? Jesus.
What a microphone said. Hey, also inside that opening segment, the verbal exchange there, Randy putting over Trick. Hey, you look great. You're looking all this, but you might not have the most brains. But I like Trick's comeback. He said, hey, I'm here. I come out here to get a little rub from you. I want to stand next to greatness to see how I compare and all that. We do have the tie-in we talked about with the qualifying matches for the Fatal 4-Way next week. The Miz gets in there. He eats a couple. Was it 2 RKOs again that he got there? So again, the Miz is doing what you need, something to set off that opening segment. We need some physical altercation instead of having Trick eat an RKO or anything vice versa. Keep these two apart for now. A little looking forward to those guys hooking up inside of that Fatal 4-Way. Let Miz go out there and do that. That's what he's there for. I enjoyed this opening.
Yeah, no,
they didn't really draw anything out either. They got the pops in and they got to it. But that does set up.
It's an introduction, really, Rick, when you think about it, right? I mean, that's basically what it was.
Yeah. And it is a great way as you're shining that spotlight on Trick right now. To get him in there in the ring without having to expose anything with a big time star like Randy Orton. But we do get our opening match, and I wasn't as impressed, or I was left with a lot of questions inside of this one. We have Trick Williams making his official SmackDown in-ring debut, taking on Rey Fenix. Jimmy, I'll get your thoughts on this before I share my notes.
Well, first of all, I feel bad almost for Rey Fenix. Is it just me, or did it look like he was walking out with a boo-boo face almost, if that makes any sense?
Why?
Because
why would you feel bad though?
Well, I don't feel bad, but it's just looking at him. You could just tell he just doesn't seem that happy. We knew he was coming in to lose this match. I'm pretty sure he just came back from injury though, right, Rick? Correct me if I'm wrong.
It was out for a little bit. I don't know if it was because they just didn't really have anything for him to do. Ray Phoenix is a spectacle draw right here. He's going to go out there, have some fun things. He is in an enhancement spot, exactly where he needs to be. You know, my number one thing on my notes here is why are we going 50-50 or anywhere close to that booking inside of this match? Trick is the star. He needs the spotlight. Sure. Ray Phoenix is Ray Phoenix. That's what he is right now. And I don't think he's going to be anything until he gets back with his brother.
Oh, who knows? We'll see what happens. And also, did you notice, man, he botches one too many times, Ray, man. Like he's always done this, even before WWE and AEW and TNA before that. Lucha Underground.
It's going so fast, trying to get everything in here. This match, the way it should have gone. Again, Trick needs the spotlight. He just got that great rub, that moment with Randy Orton. Let's steamroll this thing. Should have came in, start the match with Trick dominant, but could get a little cocky. So Ray takes advantage of that. Let Ray hit a few of those fun pop spot moves real quick, a minute or two of offense before Trick recovers and then hits a dominating finish. Keep it all in the ring. This thing should have never went to the floor. They're giving away too much stuff there with Trick too early.
I agree.
Short, simple, and sweet. That's what we need to talk about with Trick Williams right now.
I agree 100%, Rick. It should have been that way, but unfortunately, like you said, too much 50-50 going on. But still, nevertheless, Trick does get the win. Do you want to call it a strong win? I mean, is it? Does Ray Phoenix have that?
I think it should have been much more dominating. And an explanation point that Trick is not just here. He's ready to play with the top dogs or get in there 100. With the Viper, the likes of those. Not be fooling around with Ray Phoenix.
No, absolutely. I agree. I just hope they do him like good and they continue to do good with Trick because he's hit it at the park. Other than that little fumble that I mentioned before, you could tell, put that aside, you can tell he was overcooked in NXT for way too long. You see he's ready. He's more than ready to be there. He doesn't look nervous. Doesn't look like he's fumbling his words. He looks like a star, like you said before. It was just that time where he couldn't help but react to what happened. That was the only thing that took me out of it a little bit.
That's gonna happen. I mean, he is still young.
It's a learning experience, right?
But yeah, and again, when it comes to a match standpoint, he doesn't need matches like this. Next week, I go a little bit more competitive because there's something at stakes,
right?
Something on the line. Sense. And Cardona's just back. There's something of interest. I think that match inside of itself, great undercard match next week is a little draw. Also with it, we don't need Trick wrestling every week. Beyond this,
no. Yeah,
we don't. Hey, let us get to know the personality, the cockiness, just the spectacle that he is. That's where we got to go with him. Hey, Jimmy, what does Vet say? What's he got that trademark? Is it just look at her?
Yeah, I knew you were going to bring that up. Yeah, exactly. Look at her.
Look at her. Right? That's what he screams.
Well,
by God, you can look at her, but by God, do not listen to her.
Oh, maybe that's me. Whatever she said.
Sven Julia. What the hell was this screaming about? Is this like something that she's done? Is this a previous act?
Well,
her in person boots, cutting their promo back there. And she's getting to defend the Women's U.S. Championship against Alexa Bliss. Sven Julia just yelling. I don't know what the hell's going on with her. She looks like a backup. Side character in a high school drama production of Peter Pan.
What?
Has this been her act? Is this her gimmick the whole time? Because again, this is completely missing with a WWE audience.
It is, unfortunately. And yes, it has been a gimmick all along. And what you did here was
she just yells like that in Japan. I mean,
she's Japanese after all. She's half Italian also, funny enough. If you didn't know that, Rick. So she does look like a half caste. You can tell. Sometimes she looks more Japanese. Sometimes she doesn't.
Which half? Top or bottom?
Good question. I don't know, because I think top and bottom sort of seem Japanese a little bit. But in saying that, because she was Italian, like more Italian, I think she should have a bit more on the top and bottom.
All right. All right.
But in saying that,
ancestry. Talk about the character.
But her character, what is her character, man, right now?
There is none. And Creative is doing her
Exactly.
zero favors. And I know those of you that have followed her, they were excited when she came to this company. And I know the hype. I know that the background, the resume is there. She can absolutely go bell to bell, but you need beyond that in Western sports entertainment. So we got Sven Julia in person boots. They're out to the ring. They're going to take on Alexa Bliss here. United States Championship on the line. I guess you talked about like a down crowd. They're down like crazy for this. Maybe there's some interest. There's some interest here for Bliss because they do pop for Alexa Bliss.
Did they
a little bit? I don't think they were looking forward to this at all. You get a kind of a back and forth, good exchange between these two. Again, both of them good, bell to bell here. But we have Julia picks up the win after a Nia Jax and Lash Legend interference. And there isn't even like time for a celebration for the champ. She's out of there as the heel continue to squash the baby. Hit the bonsai drop there in the corner. I mean, good for them. I mean, it's furthering the tag division storyline.
Right.
Also of note here, Shar not there as they explain that she's under the weather. They do the telephone thing, good luck tonight. Bliss out there on her own. Hey, Jimmy, you just hit the nail right on the head there, brother. You hammered it. The U.S. champ, Julia, major afterthought in this.
Oh, man, it's just, and it's getting worse, man. You would have thought maybe it was just America, right? That this was happening.
Remember, I asked you that last week. Remember, I asked you if it was going to be a better reaction?
Right. And I said
thought maybe the closer she gets to home.
Right. I know you're right. And I did say also in Germany, it was 50-50. But I said once they go to London, though, she should get that pop, right? Hopefully. I was expecting this, but not to this extent. I just felt like it was crickets amplified, dude. Like it was just no care factor at all for Julia. And to somewhat worrying degree, they kind of popped for Alexa Bliss, but even with her, they didn't seem to care as much as they should for Alexa. So is she just bad doo-doo right now when it comes to Julia? Anyone she wrestles, no one gives a shit.
Because there is out of the gate, when they called her up from NXT, and I think it was so quick there because they didn't even really understand what to do with her in NXT.
Right.
And there was a lot of bad women's talent getting airtime in NXT. I wish they would have just tried to take some time, figure it out a little bit more, sports entertainment style, get a connection with Julia there. They could use her down there right now, letting not her figure out in ring, but figure out the character work. And maybe not just her herself, but for creative to try to figure it out for her. What's going to work? They call her up to SmackDown. They immediately put that U.S. championship on her. But out of the gate, she's even I don't care about this belt. I'm here for the top title.
So why the fuck are you champion for?
Right. You know what I mean? And now this means everything to her. Now that she's the second time around champion. So without a character, without a connection, and just putting a title on her was a disservice to both of those. No one cared. No one cared at all.
No one did care, and it's sad.
The look, the gimmick, and now they need to get her away from person boots. That does nothing for her. Nothing for her at all. They need to change that look. Her whole wardrobe, style, presentation needs a complete revamp.
Star. That's what she looks like, not a lawyer or whatever the fuck she's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about Puss in Boots right now, that is. And these two as a pair just does not work, man. Like, at all. Like, it just doesn't work. They're both, I don't think they help each other out at all, dude. Like, Julia does nothing for Puss in Boots, and Puss in Boots does nothing for Julia. If I was WWE right now, I know I hate to be stereotypical, Rick, right? I hate to say it. But you know what? Bring her in with Asuka and Kairi Sane or something.
I asked you. Remember when I thought that they might be kicking Kairi Sane out of the Kabuki Wars? And I asked you if that would work.
Right now,
she needs something. Julia needs something that relates to her roots to remind us where she comes from and that she is just badass in that ring, bell to bell. We don't need person boots. We don't need any association with that. She doesn't need that representation. So person boots didn't do a whole lot in NXT, but it was one of those, we need to get her up. She looks great. She just got those beautiful new gimmicks. So we got to show off those bad. They should have her as an act. They should have person boots as like the acting secretary to Nick Aldis.
Oh,
as you said,
especially if it was a heel.
She could cause a little bit of trouble there, misfiling things, or so it could give Aldis a little extra headache when he's trying to work deals and things like that.
I actually like that idea, and I think it would actually work because
that would look a lot better than what they got her doing here. She is an anchor, weighing Julia down.
Oof, big time. So I think, like I said before, I don't mean to be stereotypical. I think it's time to actually.
Hey, a lot of times you think of those big old gimmicks as life supporters. They're going to float, say, but those are big old anchors. Those are big old anchors weighing Julia down.
I mean, shit. She's great to look at, but again, what is she doing? She's an anchor, like you said. She's just weighing Julia down, unfortunately. But also with Julia, it's not her fault, but she needs to do something fast. If they're not going to put her at least with, or say with Asuka, they can be the assassins or real Kabuki warriors, if you know what I mean. I'm afraid that the more they keep going this route, the worse it's going to be for Julia. And they're trying, but it's not working.
I don't even know if they're trying, because I don't even know if they're trying.
Well, in their eyes, they probably think they are. But like you said, who is she? They haven't established who she is. No one knows who she is. And then unless you're a big fan of Japanese women's wrestling, you had no idea about her history. Give us a freaking vignette even, Rick. We don't even get that. Give us a package of what she is and who she is.
She needs to almost disappear and get completely repackaged at this point.
If you do that, just say, Rick, how would you bring her back?
Just like we described. I mean, you got to go back to her roots and connect us with that. And, I'm sorry if it's stereotype or whatever, but that's what people really, we need to know is she is one of like those Asian assassins, that is here to kick ass. I don't know what the hell they got her doing here. But again, inside this match is that entire segment, the U.S. champ, Julia, a distant afterthought. But Jimmy,
she's weighing the belt down too, actually, I feel, Rick. One more thing.
Chelsea had that belt way up here, elevated.
Yeah.
You care about that thing. She was doing great things with that.
It's true,
and
man.
now it's completely void. It's out there.
That's what's bizarre about it. But anyway, we've spoken enough about Julia.
We got the U.S. champ as an afterthought. You mentioned Chelsea there. It's a good segue here, because I want to talk about what is almost becoming another afterthought, and we did mention her earlier in the show. This is the WWE is reintroducing Jordynne Grace to their main audience, and they're doing this through backstage segments involving Aldis. So for another week in a row, last week she's just kind of visiting campus, seeing where she wants to go to school. Well, she has signed her letter of intent. She's on board here. It's official. Jordynne Grace has signed with SmackDown. And why wait? She's going to be in action. Last night, she's going to be in action, getting it on with Alba Fire after Chelsea and Alba come in, and they want to talk to Aldis about, their rematch, chasing that U.S. championship. Jimmy, you kind of talked about it. A great look for her. Where is she going to fit in? I mean, you've got somebody better or worse. I'm not a huge Jordynne Grace fan.
Neither am I. Never have been.
But if you want to paint her in that light, that she is one of those big superstars, incredible physique, looks like an athlete. This isn't the way, how they introduced her way back when they brought her to the Rumble.
Oh, that was great.
Pat McAfee put it over, like he didn't really, man, if this is what TNA's got, damn, what a champion, what an athlete. That was an introduction. She felt like a big deal. Here's the problem again, though, Jimmy. This is why it doesn't feel all that blockbuster, because they're doing backstage segments with nothing. They're not making her feel like a big deal in this call-up.
Yeah, it's almost like she's going for a job interview with Aldis or some shit, to be some sort of backstage thing and not a wrestler. But you know what the mindset is, right? Rick. Well, TNA. Let's have them friggin', mixed together. Same with Chelsea. I bet you that's what they're trying to do, but it's stupid at the same time.
No, I don't think that's anywhere on the radar. They're just trying to cram as much crap in backstage with their stupid formatting, same old played out tired formatting that we see. She does have the match there with Alba Fire. Do you got anything on the match? I mean, it is what it is. It's an introduction. Go out there and beat Fire.
Yeah, no, not really. You just said it. It was just, if you want to call it a somewhat strong win, an introduction for Jordynne Grace. I just was worried about her finisher for a minute. It's weird the way she does her finisher a little bit, because the way she folds them up and then straightens them out sort of thing is kind of strange to me. But other than that, like Cold Blooded says, all natural Jordynne Grace. She looks more natural these days, actually.
I like it. I like it. All natural. I love that right there. I love it. Wait, who was that? Who was that?
It was Cold Blooded saying all natural Jordynne Grace. It's got a good ring to it too.
I like it. All natural Jordynne Grace.
They should actually call her that as a rib, dude. But you know what? She looks like she's off the gas a little bit compared to what she was a few years ago.
Oh, she might need to get back on it. But speaking of ribs, Jimmy, Kit Kat, your boy.
Oh God, what the fuck was he wearing, dude?
What? Hold on, yeah. I actually have notes here about his outfit. What is his last name again here? I know I could.
Wilson, Kit Wilson.
Okay, Kit Wilson. So Kit Kat, as you said, he pops up and he has a giant pearl necklace, and it looked like some kind of tea cozy strapped around his neck. And he's sporting a busted nose. Everything is toxic, Jimmy. Toxic, Jimmy.
Including him, dude. Straight up. Mrs. Wilson, I like it.
Jimmy, are you a shining example of toxic masculinity? Are you, Jimmy?
If that's what it looks like, and I'm talking about Mrs. Wilson, absolutely not. Because whatever he was wearing, dude, that's something like, that looked like straight out of the 40s that your grandmother would wear back then. You know what I mean?
We got a perfect example of toxic masculinity. Jimmy, roll that tape.
I
told you to be ready. I told you to be on the trigger.
Wait a minute. Oh man, hang on a second. Are we talking about the same?
Roll that tape.
Oh, no way. He's squaring up with it.
Oh, fuck yeah, Wollongong.
He needs that.
That is toxic masculinity right there.
I thought it was a rib there for a minute, Rick, because I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Am I supposed to play that again twice? I wasn't 100% sure, and I'm thinking, am I missing something here right now? But luckily,
I've got it right. Of HMG Unreal, I'm yelling at Jimmy about messing it up. We went over that in the production meeting, ladies and gentlemen. Catch that on HMG Unreal. Me screaming at him, at Gorilla.
Yeah, trust me, I've got a lot of screams from Rick, man.
Jimmy, you've been excited for this one. You've been on the edge of your seat. You've been talking about it for weeks and weeks, ready for a big showdown. We got 8-man tag action. My family tree tangles with the Wyatt Six. A lot of chaos between these two heated rivals. Hey, a lot of heat been building as they've been battling over the last couple of weeks. It's been better or worse. One of at least committed to it. Long-term running mid-card feuds that we've got. Again, it's what you get out of an 8-man. A lot of chaos, a lot of big moves, big men running around. I was a little surprised. Good for him. Tama gets the pin here to win this thing. I know you are actually a fan of him.
I am.
Wyatts still have the tag belts, but my family tree has the lantern. More intrigue.
There goes my mic. Yeah, nah. Dude, I tuned out of this match completely. I couldn't care less. The more I see Bo Dallas, the more of a friggin' idiot he looks. Straight up. Is he getting even fatter every week? Is that what's going on with him now?
He does look like maybe the holidays, man, packing on the pounds there. Lots of good eats.
Dude, come on. Seriously, he looks like a friggin' idiot. All right. The wig is just, it's not working, man. again, I just want to blow this up. Even big fella, what's his name? What's the big redhead's name again? I forgot his name.
Eric Rowan.
Have you noticed even he's friggin' putting on weight? I mean, we all put on weight, but god damn it, he's looking even heftier right now with his backside, bro. It's starting to get like his waist is starting to get even bigger. I just feel like these guys just blow them all up at this point, please. Please. No, I don't believe, Bruce.
A lot of people are asking that, has it run its course? Has it jumped the shark with the Wyatt Six? And I would tend to agree with that. And, going all the way back, a lot of people had that question immediately. Where is this going? And in my mind, I had hoped, because they said it was really a tribute to the final notes that Bray himself had planned out. Some things that he wanted to do with the group. Well, I think that ended. So to me, in my mind, I thought the Wyatt Six was going to be a short-lived thank you, farewell tour, like an encore. Maybe just a couple months. I think they ran through that and they didn't know how to get out of it. So now we're like just stuck in this absurd limbo with it. And I agree. It is time to end this. It is time to put this thing to sleep. I think there is value with the talents inside the group to spin them off, to go their own direction. I'd have to take some serious thought to sit down and look at each one to see what that actually is. But there's some good talent in there. But this gimmick itself, no longer working, no longer needed.
No, and it doesn't fit in today's WWE climate, if that makes any sense. Because you got everything else going on, and then you got that. And I even feel like it brings down even the, Solo's crew a little bit, you know what I mean? Like the MFTs, whatever they're called. I just feel like they need to get away from even those guys right now. It's just, it looks too kiddie, too childish. Like I said last week about Priest and Black in the ambulance match, this is even worse. I don't even want to laugh at this. It's sad to me. It's just like, guys, they should know enough to even go, even Bo Dallas should go to creative and say, look, I've tried, I'm just not my brother. It's just, go.
Well, I mean, no one's going to go and say, hey, cancel our paycheck. So,
no, absolutely not.
I hope, creatively, as they're moving ahead, they need to realize this. And let's start the exit plan. So I like this here that they have the lantern. Let's hear it in the next couple months. Maybe you want to do something very nice. The final, let's dot that final period for Bray Wyatt. If you want to do this at one of the nights of WrestleMania, I think it's a great undercard match. And we can ride this story up to that, add something to occupy time on these extended television to WrestleMania. But if it's at WrestleMania, wherever it is, have Solo go over. Maybe you can even have Bo go over in a way. Again, a final thank you, salute to Bray Wyatt, but blow out the lantern one last time, and let's put this thing to rest.
If they do that, I'm all for it. And hopefully they do think about something like that. And yeah, it wouldn't be bad if Solo did go over and then they still ended in a nice way. Place the lantern right in the middle of the ring, I hate to be
I wouldn't even say it. I don't think it needs to be anything like that. I mean, if you could actually come up with something very creative, maybe in a morbid sense that Bray himself would. Maybe there are somewhere notes where Bray had an idea about how to finally write off that character or the whole thing.
Interesting. I wonder if he did think that far ahead, and knowing him, he probably, not that I know him, but knowing the way he works things, he probably did have, that sort of path ahead of when to finish it and whatnot. But like I was saying, man, unfortunately, just none of these guys are Bray. Bray is just way more like creative out of any of these guys. These guys don't have a creative mindset compared to Bray.
They might have something in mind there, and there's got to be somebody there that they could bring in to help, from the horror genre, something like that. And again, I think it was, Zane said, don't make it sad. It does got to be sappy. Like a retirement or along those lines.
It is kind of sad, but because it's Bray Wyatt, he passed away.
Make it something unique. But let us know that we are letting go. The fireflies are being released into the skies. Blow out the lantern. The flame is extinguished. We're moving on from it. So
Right.
let's get on that road. If that's at WrestleMania, that's something fine for that undercard in a big stage in a big moment like that.
Absolutely. I'm all for it. Hopefully they do that sooner than later. Hopefully by, this year's WrestleMania. And just quietly before we move on, and I noticed from the chat a while ago, but have you noticed that they're not really promoting the Royal Rumble so far?
Yeah, I saw it over the chat. For whatever reason, just didn't work it into the conversation. It is one of those letdowns. There's just there's a couple things with that. Are they just resting on their oars that, hey, it's the Rumble? Everybody loves it. They know it's coming. Or are we deflecting attention of where the Rumble is?
That could be the case, but also this just proves that this event coming up, as in the Rumble, is a paid out friggin' thing. I don't think anyone now is going to go overseas, because if there was a chance that tickets were available to the public, they'd be friggin' promoting it flat stick. Doesn't matter where.
Well,
it's
they did. They had that real quick one. It wasn't recently. It's like tickets go on sale this day. We haven't heard a mention of that. How they're going. Honestly, it's only like it wasn't on this show. They did it a couple weeks ago. But it was
I didn't even
remember. They go on Wednesday. They did announce that there was public ticket sales, but you usually get hype pieces about them making it a travel destination. Like we saw one hype package on this show, not for the Rumble, but for WrestleMania Vegas. Tickets go on sale to the public, I think, this Wednesday. But they talked about, and because I distinctly remember, because it popped me that they were putting over. It's going to be the biggest superstore ever. Well, come give us more of your money. Come give us more of your money. There's going to be more meet and greets. Yeah. Get that 3K. Get that 3K ready so you can go have brunch with Michelle McCool's husband. That's going to be awesome. And we're going to hit you up at the biggest superstore ever. How about $55 for a Michelle McCool husband t-shirt? Get that with your 3K brunch.
Do you think they'll double the price for these meet and greets come this April?
Yeah, people are paying for it. Speaking of overpriced merch, though, I was heartbroken to see this. The AEW White Castle collab going on. They got those White Castle lucha masks. $40, $40 for a lucha mask.
Not just $40, but look at it. Look at the damn lucha mask.
It didn't even look that cool, man. If it would have been like $25, I would have pulled the trigger and got
$25. Even that's a little bit steep, in my opinion.
I would have done it. When I saw $39.99 plus that shipping and handling, like no way. No.
TK, what are you doing, son?
No freaking way.
If people buy that crap and start wearing them at their events, God help them. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I would wear a mask going into anything AEW just so no one recognizes me.
That's the comment of the fucking day right there. That was brilliant. Absolutely. I was so hard myself as well.
I love some White Castle though. I love me some White. I had it in a while.
That I agree with 100%. I love me some White Castle too.
I'll tell you one thing that we don't love. What's going on? This continued part of the mid card here. Such a cluster. The U.S. Open Challenge is back. We got our new champ, Carmelo Hayes. He's going to honor it. He's going to carry this thing on. You know what's funny? Because he's, all these people saying, they all wanted that opportunity with Dragunov. But now they're all like putting it off. Like, oh yeah, I'm coming for it. Not yet. And there's still no one of substance wanting to really step up for this thing. So let's take this whole thing here with this mid card, this U.S. Championship. Let's break it down, Jimmy. We got the one thing. Well, Fraxium, they get confused about who's who on their team.
I actually like that because I even got fooled for a moment.
Ooh, they got Jimmy.
Even though it was obvious with the turtleneck, you know what I mean? But it was snowing in Berlin, so.
Well, the put over, he even says, like, I know Gargano couldn't make the European trip. Why aren't you in your gear? I was going to race you out. Like, I mean, that part was a little cheesy, but I did like the surprise with Gargano.
For sure.
That did. Now, I don't know if it totally surprised me or if when I immediately saw those guys, I just kind of tuned out a little bit where I wasn't paying that much attention, but it did draw me back in. I was like, oh, wait a minute. It's Gargano.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And the Hammer wants to know though, Rick, RBV, would you work with Wrestle Dragunov?
In a sense of work with, would I book him?
I assume
No.
he means wrestle with him, I guess, too. But
I'm not. I don't want to answer that guy. I mean, hey, I can take. Hey, he is. I mean,
Fuck
he is
that.
a freak, dude. Yeah.
fuck that shit.
Yeah,
No,
the only
but
thing,
anyway.
hold on. The only thing I would do with Dragunov, if I had the U.S. title when he had it there and I was wrestling him, I would just extend my arm and hold it up here because I'm 6'3", and with my reach here, I'm going to go to about 6'6", 6'7", and that little guy ain't
He's
gonna be able to
trying
reach up there.
he's trying
That
to
little
grab
guy
it.
ain't gonna be able to reach anything.
Imagine that. Talking about burial. He's like, trying to grab it. That would be awesome.
Compared to that dude, I look like Tala Tonga. So
Jesus, you're on
So we
fire
do-
today, Rick.
we do have that little backstage thing, and hey, you know what? I don't know if that was just because I was like half into it, but then it did pull my interest, like you said, Jimmy. Like, hey, that was kind of maybe also what's good about that is there was like hardly any talking from Gargano.
Right? No, absolutely, you're right. He just said what he said. Like, it was him. Whatever he said, I didn't even pay attention to what he said. I just liked what I saw.
Right.
But like you said, I wasn't even paying attention to what was going on, and then I saw him, take the mask off.
It
and I'm
did
like,
grab.
oh.
It did grab your attention there. It did grab your attention. Also, Hammer on that. The reason I wouldn't book him, probably one of those guys that thinks he's got that WWE rub, and you put him on a poster and you put that little WWE logo right there. But people, when you're papering the town and people are looking at that, they're still like, "Who the hell's that guy?" Never heard of that guy.
You think so? Who's that freaking Russian? No, hey, you know what? Bruce brings up a good point, by the way, saying I would have Montez Ford show up for a US Open challenge, something new. If he won the US title, it'd be good. And if he's going to have a singles run, it would be interesting.
All right, so I guess it could work a little bit with Montez Ford because there is a connection. He has been there for years. People do know him. They already appreciate his talents, and they do want to see an opportunity for him to break out as a single star. Do I think that's the best option? Absolutely not, but it wouldn't be a complete fail for him. I think he needs a lot more. They're not even on the tour, I don't think.
Have you heard anything about them? The last I heard was there's rumors that they want out of their contracts and blah, blah, blah. I don't really buy it.
Where else are they going to go? Well,
That's what I'm saying. I don't buy it. So, but I am worried about them because the tag team division is just the drizzling shit. And let's be honest, right? Say what you want about the Street Profits, but they're in the top 3 best tag teams right now in the whole company. And you're not going to utilize these guys?
There is no tag division. Where are we going to utilize them?
But that's true too. You're right. Unfortunately, that's true too.
I think when we just saw Obafemi Elite, vacate the NXT championship on Tuesday, and we've got all of these. We're already seeing it happen. This mass exodus from NXT.
Well, it's long overdue to be honest with you.
Raw. I know, but what's in the cupboard down there? What stars do they have? Watching NXT is difficult.
That's
Cookie
true.
cutter, everything looks the same. They got some good bell-to-bell talents and all that, but there's no stars.
Yeah, see, the WWE have made a bit of a mistake on their development in terms of who's the next, batch of stars, shall we call them? Because
why not take Montez Ford, put him back down there to figure out the single stuff and let him carry that for a little bit to see he has it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good restart for him. Not that he needs it, but it's a good way to develop his character per se. I would even throw back.
I think he does need it. He needs it in a sense of a refresher to go singles.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Let us establish a singles character. I mean, who are we? What I was saying before, he could survive that because he is familiar with an audience. An audience is rooting for him. But character-wise, we don't know who the hell. Who is he? Solo Cup? Is he One Glove? Is he bitter at the world? What is he? What is Montez Ford?
He's a street prophet.
Well, is he a hustler? I mean, is he out throwing dice? Is he pushing weed? Like, what the hell does that mean?
Well, I mean, it's a good question. I have no idea what his occupation and what street prophet means per se. But you stumped me. You're right.
Frank Strickler saying he should be the top brother in the WWE. Well, should he? Because it's getting kind of crowded up there. I mean, you got Oba, you got Trick. We're Carmelo, who we're still talking about here. He's getting ready to take on Nakamura. I mean, where does Carmelo fit into this right here? Only so many spots at the top, and if you're comparable and similar to some of the others, not a whole lot of room for you.
Yeah, it's a good point, man. They establish these guys once again, even if it means separately, and explain what they are. Because, like you said, are they pushers? Are they? You know what I mean?
What is Montez for? What we don't know, because they flip flop him like a damn fish out of water so much. I mean, we loved it when him and Doc, when they were taking the division back, when they were pissed off, mad about everything. Then they get the belts and they're back to dancing, jiving, solo cupping, one glove wearing.
You're right. It's true.
Hanging out with B floppies. What the hell?
What's happened to her? But yeah, I think Frank is right.
Yeah, thank God. Thank you, Jade. Thank you.
Zane Vicious. He's gonna be the Bearcat.
Hey, I'm the only real Bearcat around here. Cincinnati, baby.
That's true. That's true. But obviously he's pointing out the.
We got all this going on in the back. There's they're all gonna a mad rush. Most of the people want to wait till later, but we do got some people want the challenge. We do get Nakamura is going to challenge Carmelo Hayes here for the U.S. Championship. Hey, chat, I want to know this real quick. Which of these two top contenders would you like to see answer the U.S. Open Challenge? Jimmy T, roll that footage.
Here we go again. Jesus Christ. I need to be more set up.
Oh, no way. He's squaring up with it. Oh, fuck yeah, Woolen gone.
Like, when he got me on the ground there, that kind of hurt, bro.
Hey, could Carmelo Hayes survive the jawbreaker pile driver combo? The total salami tsunami.
No chance. I would absolutely flatten him. I'll pancake him right there.
Hey, this match itself, though, Jimmy, extended time here. Good for what it was. Both these guys can go bell to bell. Same thing as I said, though, last week. Terrible card placement. You establish wrestling early on in these shows. This should be an hour one match, not as we're getting ready for a main event.
I agree. But you know what? The match wasn't bad, though. I actually didn't mind the match.
I didn't think it would be. Both of these guys can absolutely go. It's back and forth. Big time impact moves. They work a good pace. They slowed down a little bit when they need to. They revved it up when they needed it. Big spots, big pops. But this is a match very similar to what we fell in love with the cruiserweight division of WCW, because it would go on earlier in the show and establish that wrestling part of it. Once we've got all this other antics going on and we're building up towards a big gimmick match main event, these types of matches fall flat.
No, you're right. And again, like, they're trying to reestablish Nakamura, it seems. But even with Nakamura, he used to be the king of strong style, but what is he now?
He is what he is. He's getting a nice paycheck. You're going to get a good outing from him.
Can you believe
got all these other stars coming up here? It is what it is with Nakamura right now.
Can you believe he's been with the company for 11 years almost now? Is that crazy or what? Because to me, I can't believe that he's been with WWE for like 11 years nearly. That's crazy.
He's in a comfortable spot. He's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, you can't complain if you're Nakamura. I guess you get a lot of time off. You still get a few big, matches here and there. But would you, I know you're not the biggest fan of his, but would you kind of try to give him a push again? Remember when he won the Rumble? And,
no, I mean, he is where he is. Again, that's what he is. He is where he's at right now. Maybe something in the mid card. He's out of that main event scene.
Bruce thinks he'd be a better fit on Raw. I don't know if it matters at this point where he's at. You know what I mean? But I'm still a fan of his.
Maybe a sense with that for some fresh matchups. But I mean, he is in that established name. We know who he is. There's a connection. Go out there, put people over.
That's it, man. But you know what? He's looking kind of good these days. He looks. I don't want to say he's looking younger, but he looks. I don't think he's even mad with his spot. I think he's happy of where he's at. He wants to stay with WWE too. I don't think he even cares.
Yeah, he likes fame. Likes his lifestyle. The travel's not there. He's doing things that he enjoys. So he's fine. He's fine. I'm not losing sleep. I'm not worried about poor Nakamura. Jimmy, you put over. This was a big fight show, everything around this main event. That's what this crowd came here for. This has been, we know the story between these two, Drew and Cody, coming up. Hammer was there with them back in the day, getting started, going through OVW. No pun intended here. Two different roads travel that intertwine throughout all these years. They were tag champs together. Yep. They both knew where they wanted to be in this business, and that is at the very top of the game. Their roads, though, very different. Two different paths, one destination, and it came to a head in Berlin, Germany. 3 stages of hell from the two guys that have been carrying the blue brand for over a year now. Absolutely going at it here. Stage 1, pure wrestling. Who's going to get out there and just get it done? I like to start things off like that. I like that. It's just a very basic, very simple. I loved how Drew takes the fall. Very fitting that he does it in a cheating fashion when the referee is not paying attention. So right. he establishes that heel heat. Going to bend those rules in a pure wrestling match to pick up that first fall. Let's turn it up. Crank up the volume. We are going falls, count anywhere. The thing I didn't like about this, because Drew was talking last week about how they could go out into the streets and he could beat them up all over Berlin. And as soon as they made that announcement, like, it has to happen in the arena.
Yeah.
They go, they stick ringside here. They really do too much getting into the crowd and everything, right? As I
wouldn't say
right?
no. I wouldn't say it was hardcore, you know what I'm saying?
I would have liked to see a little more to the extreme. With the heat we had between these two, Cody going out of his way, going to his home to attack him, Drew going into Cody's personal space. I would have liked to see this thing go around the arena a little bit more. Go up to the corridor, maybe one of those famous concession stand spots or something like that, get into the merch, do something where we see the arena, we get up close, personal with the crowd, get those reactions, bring them to life here. I would have liked to see that a little bit more in the second fall.
That I agree with, but could it be the fact that it was a SmackDown and not a PLE? If it was a PLE, I'm sure they probably would have done that.
It's a big match. It is a big match. You want that big atmosphere.
I don't think it should
matter in either case. And this is a big payoff between these two. So I think that kind of missed. That second thing missed. Maybe they're drawing back because they didn't want to take away too much from the close here. But I thought they missed on that second fall with really using the arena, making it unique to the environment and turning up the energy. Absolutely. But we do get a call back to when Drew, and it was an overseas show where Drew with the Claymore through the table. They go to that call back there. Cody avoids it this time. He gets Drew through the table, gets the pinfall on the outside. At least kudos to that. They did the pinfall outside, not in the ring for a false count anywhere. They usually would do that damn thing in the ring. So we're tied up 1-1. Let's lower the cage. We're going to lock them in here, gladiator style. Let them go at it. Just like they used to do back in the day. The only thing we were missing was a ferocious lion running around inside there. These two are going at it. They want it. I almost wish, though, in this third fall, it would have been no escape. You got to put the guy down. And I like how they did a couple times. They went for a couple submissions and pinfalls inside the cage. I wish that would have been there to up the ante there. It does make sense with the big time with the escape, what we get there in the finish. And I think this popped a lot of people. Hey, why do suspicious individuals always have to wear black? Why don't they go out like wearing pink hoodies in masks? Everybody always in black.
That's a good question. I mean, it would have been different if he came out in pink or something like that. But yeah, because it's mischievous, being dressed up in all in black.
Representing that bandana, representing the Bloods, maybe come out in some red, get your Crip walk on.
Jacob Fatu is apparently a Blood back in San Francisco. So even Rikishi was
rocking the Reds, man. They had that red bandana on. So through these 3 stages of hell, they're giving it to each other. Cody laid out. Drew goes for the pin, thinks he's got him after a big 1, 2, 3, kicks the shit out of the champ. Only can get a 2 fall at it. He's shocked. He starts going towards that door. He knows he can't pin him. Maybe just try to escape. Try to survive the 3 stages of hell. That door opens, and lo and behold, right there, Jimmy. Drew McIntyre trying to escape hell, crawl his way through hell. He doesn't just see a ghost. He's not staring at the devil. We talked about a lion and those gladiators. Even worse than that. He is looking at a bloodthirsty, salivating, revenge-driven werewolf. You know, you got to imagine what Drew was picturing through his eyes, looking at that individual there, unmasking, seeing Jacob Fatu. There's only one way to describe it. Jimmy, roll that footage.
I knew it.
Oh, no way. He's squaring up with it. Oh, fuck yeah, Wollongong.
Yeah, that is the energy that you have there, Jacob Fatu, staring at Drew McIntyre square in the eye. And Fatu takes it to him, puts the beating on Drew McIntyre. But Cody's coming to him. He's like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell? Why are you interfering in this moment, in this match? Hey, and you cannot put a leash on a werewolf. He turns around and starts beating the crap out of Cody. Now you got the unhinged Fatu, who has ruined this main event. Drew McIntyre capitalizes. He's out the door. Ring the bell. And Drew, champion of the world. Drew, hey, he's hightailing out. He's crawling up the ramp.
Well, yeah, no, I would be too. I'll be
into that championship. He's getting out of there. Fatu and Cody going at it in the ring. Cody, goes, as we go off there, fade to back. He don't know what to think here.
Well,
I think this was a good finish.
I love this finish. The only thing is they better make this make sense. You know how we saw with Jacob Fatu before, he had his mouth injury, whatever you want to call it, with his teeth and the grills and whatnot. Could it be that it was obviously Drew or Cody that laid him out?
Well, I would think by the look in Drew's eyes, because, it seemed like it was very evident
or a ghost
that it was Drew.
Right. Yeah, it had to be.
Now, I think Cody's reaction, I don't think you should make it Cody that it was him there. I mean, I don't see what Cody stands to gain from that. That's not his MO, who he is.
Well, he does have the issue with the bloodline, technically.
But that's not his MO. That's not how he does business.
That's true.
If Cody is going to confront you, it's going to be man to man, eye to eye. Let's do it in the ring. That's where Cody's frustration and anger comes from. This is his moment. He's taking down Drew. It's very personal to him. And this sucker, this fool is going to come and interfere in this thing. That's where Cody's frustrations come from.
Well, now it brings back to, who they're going to feed to Drew. I hate to say it, but obviously Jacob's going to be a strong win for Drew. In one of it could be his first defense even for the WWE Championship. And as far as Cody goes,
well, no, we know it's not going to be either of these two.
Oh no, because of the tournament.
We have the qualifiers for the Fatal 4-Way. That winner gets an opportunity.
But guaranteed, he'll be amongst the whoever's next from that tournament. They're not going to win the championship. Then it's probably going to be Jacob. But I want to see how they're going to intertwine all this.
Well, you got to think there's a lot of working parts here. The wild card now with Cody having heat with Jacob, so those two might have a match somewhere.
Right, for sure.
So they're going to hook up at some point between now and WrestleMania.
Well,
could this be? To throw this out there, another wild card. What if Solo wins his qualifier and wins that Fatal 4-Way? So Solo is the first opponent against Drew McIntyre. So he's got family ties to Fatu. There's heat there. We can get a lot of working parts here with a lot of people that don't like each other.
Right. I hope WWE know what they're doing when it comes to putting all that together. The only thing is, I'm hearing that Cody, the reason why Cody lost, supposedly, the dirt sheets are already running wild, brother, when it comes to him losing. Apparently, Cody's going to have some time off now, Rick, for a while. So, I don't know if that's because...
Come on, what's no one takes vacation at WrestleMania season.
I know, but that's what the dirt sheets are reporting, that he's going to... Because apparently, did he have another kid late last year, apparently? He had another daughter, apparently. And that he wants to spend time with his newborn daughter during his time right now. So that's why he lost.
What does all this time off in wrestling mean? These people act like they're running shows 7 days a week still. No, they're not. Idea. I mean, they got their little holiday tour. They got their European tour.
Did he just get time off? That's what I'm saying, right? He did.
Oh, I got like a week or two, but it's
Still,
that's an overexaggeration. These idiots out here, but they're not running 360 shows a year
I know.
anymore.
Look, to be fair to Cody, he has been running like
It's not
a
going to
lot.
kill
Like,
Cody to get on a plane once a week and fly to wherever SmackDown's at. Now, does he need to
Agreed.
be there every week? No, he doesn't need that. If you got all these working parts, yes. But Cody's not going to just disappear and not be involved in some sort of storyline going into WrestleMania season.
I agree. That's
just
why I don't
asinine.
understand. Why do the dirt sheets come up with this bullshit though? That's what I'm saying. Like,
They don't have anything else to do. They're fake journalists. No one, back in the day where they had to actually get a contact, do some research. You go to dirt sheets now. Here's what dirt sheets are. They listen to a podcast and then just write a stupid headline, copy and paste a bunch of shit from Wikipedia, and then at the very bottom just have a little quote that someone said on a podcast.
I know you're right, man. You're right, 100%. Go home and be a dad. Hammer says. Zane says Bill Watts turning over in his grave.
No.
Whatever the case, look, I don't really buy it either. Like you said, why would he take time off on his biggest payday of the year, right?
Well, so I have to be there. Now to say, you can't scale back. It's not like he needs to carry this brand like he has been. After Cena had, just completely disappeared. It was Cody that had to carry the blue brand. Complete
And
lack of star power from like WrestlePalooza to this point.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're right.
And Cody just had time off from a movie.
You're right again. Yeah, but he did fly back and forth between Australia and the US.
Remember because they wrote him off because Drew kept asking where he's at because it was all they're protecting the champ. Why isn't he here? Why am I not getting my opportunity after I kicked his head's dude through a table?
Yeah, it wasn't for too long. It was like 2 weeks, if that. You know what I mean?
2 or 3 weeks, but all right. So that again, if he's scaling back, that's fine. But their schedule's not like it used to be. It's not that grueling.
No.
I'm not buying that much into that. A change needed to happen. We need something fresh at the top of this thing. Not only do we have a baby on the chase, there is a lot of other questions. Still, we don't know, like you said, who attacked Fatu? Who really's got most of the heat here?
Right. Another thing I wanted to point out, did you notice how the fans were totally booing Cody for the most part?
I'm not gonna put too much stock in what the Germans are cheering and booing.
No, I know you're right, but monkey see, monkey do, Rick. That's the problem. When one fan base starts doing shit like that, it generally spreads.
Get a little bit of that divide there. You got a European crowd there. You got Drew from that neck of the woods,
right?
European native there. They wanted that moment.
Yeah, no, you're right, but don't be surprised if it spreads. Like Frank says, RBV, the 350K private tour buses are rough trips. Apparently, it is.
Yeah, maybe that could be
right. He's got even
Cody's got kids he needs looking after. Maybe that's what person Boots can do. She can just be a nanny.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I'm sure she can make good money doing that.
Yes, Jimmy. Overall, what did you think of this week's SmackDown?
It was a lot better than the last 5 weeks of SmackDown.
It was tolerable, but I also think is the curve that bad?
Well, no, it's not a huge curve, right? Like you're saying,
like a downward curve. I mean,
right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
Even if it shows a D+ or a C, it looks like $1 million compared to what we've been getting for the past year.
And I'm not going to give it. If I was to give it a rating, it wouldn't be that low. I'll be fair. You know why? Is because we did get a title match, we did get a new champion, and it was a SmackDown. For that alone, I'll give it a good B+. You know what I mean? Just because of that, just alone.
If this like a C+, B-, just not partially for the reasons you said, but because we got some intrigue, we've got a reason now to come back. And there's a lot of intrigue at the top about how these parts are all going to work together.
But that's what worries me too, Rick. Are they going to do business after this? You know what I mean? Properly. And what I mean by that, are they going to continue this sort of run of, can we get 2 to 3 good shows in a row? I will say, since they are in Europe, though, they probably will give that little bit of extra effort than usual. But once we go back to the US, that's what worries me too. You know what I mean? Like, how long is this European tour going for? Do you know?
Well, we've only got a couple. I know they've got next week. They got shows over in Europe. I know they come back. They do some spots in the Saturday night's main event is in Canada. It's Montreal.
All right, so basically they're only doing England and Germany, basically, not a whole European run like they did last year.
I guess. I don't know. It's all fucking Europe to me. Get on a train, you guys, without crossing borders left and right over there.
Well,
But
true.
yeah, so then you got the Saturday Night event is in Montreal. And then we load up them planes because it's Riyadh season, and they head over to the desert for the Rumble.
The desert. I'm intrigued by the Rumble. I'm not going to lie because of where it's at. But at the same time, it does feel very underwhelming at the moment. We are in January, Rick. That's the thing. And they're not really hyping it as they should be. But maybe because of Saturday night's main event also coming up. Who knows?
They just don't want to talk about where it's at, buddy. They don't want to talk about where it's at.
Well, friggin' they should, because you agreed to this shit, then run with it. You know what I mean? Don't friggin' play dumb, if you get where I'm coming from. But it is what it is.
I'll tell you what we do. I'll tell you what we do want to hype. Coming up this Monday, calling all the Hameen Army, the Juggalos, and pro wrestling fanatics, high at noon, right here on the platform. We're going to have the lovely, the one and only Jasmine St. Clair from Juggalo Championship Wrestling and their hit show, YouTube show, Lunacy. Going to be joining Hameen and myself for a great conversation. Do not miss that. Again, it is Jasmine St. Clair, Monday Locker Room, January 12th, this Monday, high noon, baby.
Absolutely. I'm actually, like I said, can't wait for the show. Looking forward to it. I'm sure it's going to be one of the best episodes already in 2026, Rick. So can't wait.
Hey, Jimmy, before you get us out of here, before you throw up that X, fade to black, how about one more time? Roll that footage.
All right, let's get to it.
Oh, no way. He's squaring up with it. Oh, fuck yeah, Willie gone.
You know what? I'm lucky that was a young juvenile kangaroo, because that was a big red. And if you look up big red kangaroos, Rick, they're the worst, dude.
That sounds like something you don't want to Google.
Yeah. God damn it. Why'd you have to do that, man? Now I'm going to look at it in a different way. Anyway, you get my drift.
Hey, Paz just sent me a message. Jimmy T is high. It's the Jimmy T is high out of his mind right now.
Oh yeah, I wish.
That's
Really?
real. That's real. That's real. Paz just sent me that message.
Oh, come on, Paz. I'm not high out of my mind, please. I wish I was. Anyway, Rick, since we are wrapping it up, tell them what you're doing, what you're up to, you
already plugged all my shit, man.
But what you didn't plug is, where can they follow you?
Nowhere. Don't follow me. I don't want you following me around. I don't want you following me around like that kangaroo. Hop around, find out. Salami, tsunami,
find out.
Jimmy T. Don't drink his Foster's Australian for beer, or you get a beat down like that kangaroo.
Yeah, that's what happens when you drink Foster's down here, man. It sucks. Just saying, you don't drink that shit, do you?
No, I've never had it.
I was gonna say, Rick, because if you did, goddamn. But anyway, in saying that, if you want to follow me, you can at the PWC Network on the X, the Twitter. Also, check out all our shows. You alluded to it earlier. We did a Wrestle Kingdom review with myself, the Vet, and of course Dr. Michael Jargo. But also check out I Like a Raw, and also that Wreckage with myself and the Professor and the Vet, and of course me and Big Ray and Pierce Austin were on this week also, and the Vet actually. The Vet done a friggin' he was the MVP of the week, I think, actually, Rick. He done a lot of shows, man.
He did like 7 hours that day.
Crazy, man. How did he even sleep? I don't even know how he did it, but he's a machine. That's why he's the Vet, and that's why we call him the best in the world. But in saying that, I think it's a wrap, Rick. I am Jimmy T. He is R to the B to the V. And I just want to thank everybody else for joining us in the chat. But till next time, we'll see you soon. Peace. And also like and subscribe right here on Hameen Really Group's YouTube channel. And I also want to talk about, just for the record, we're going to be moving to Patreon. No, I just wanted to talk about the Patreon deal.
We're moving to Patreon. We got an announcement coming soon.
All right, fair enough. I got a message. But then, you know what? We'll wait for the announcement. just look out for that. But anywho, peace out. See you later. And we're out. Peace.
Shit's still good.
Oh, no way. He's squaring up with it.
Oh, fuck yeah, Wollongong!